My name is Jordan Dempsey. I am 23 years old and I am from Boulder City, Nevada, where the Hoover Dam is built. And yeah, my life before Rockside was very topsy-turvy. I grew up in a house where God wasn't around, and that really made an impact on my life early on. My parents divorced when I was 6 years old, and I never really saw my biological father after that. I tried to fill that void in my life with things that were very fleshly, very wrong. I felt as if I had no direction in life. I felt like I had no path. I had very bad habits. I thought that God was out to get me. I thought that God was against me. I thought God was my enemy. And through sports, I had to be the best. And if I wasn't the best, I wrote myself off as a failure. It led to one particular morning in January of 2018 where I was driving home after having a panic attack, and every muscle in my body wanted me to jerk the wheel really quickly and get it over with. But something told me not to, so I didn't. I feel like in retrospect, looking back on it now, that's how the Lord kind of shook my life and told me that this isn't really where I want you to be. October 16th, 2020, I received a phone call from Dave Dick, and he's a recruiting director at Rockside, and he said, "Hey, I know what you're going through. I get it. I know of a place up in the middle of nowhere for you called Rockside, and it's like this 8-month program." And before he could even finish his sentence, I said I was there. Going through Rockside, everything changed. Everything changed. I have never grown up on a farm. I've always been the one to get the product of farming at the grocery store. And I never really knew what went into it. I never really knew the ins and outs of what makes farming tick. And being on a ranch for so long really opened my eyes to the full circle of life and what that really looks like. It was culture shock. I am very much used to beach cruisers down PCH, and I saw chickens everywhere for the first time, and I thought, I don't belong here. And getting through meeting everybody and being introduced to everybody was so warm and welcoming and appreciative that I was there, and it threw me off. I was like, how? You guys don't even know me yet. All the guys that helped build the fence, you guys are awesome. Another thing that was difficult about the program was being able to accept the fact that you're broken and that you're imperfect, and that going to Rockside is like being restored, being filled again with the love of Christ. That took a long time for me to understand. I felt like I was going into Rockside just to become a better man, and I was gonna leave Jesus to the side until I figured out my life first and then focus on Jesus. But I realized that to focus on Jesus first fixed my life and saved me from a life that I did not want to live anymore. I would always say that my relationship with Christ is like an old friend. I remember specifically saying that after going to church for the first time in like 5 years. That was Jesus, and he wanted to be in my life again, and at that moment in time, I was not willing to let him in. But over the course of my time at Rockside, he slowly made his way into my life, and now he is firm in my life. I wholeheartedly agree with the fact that the Scott Valley community is something very unique, and it's something very special. It is a big reason why I'm still around. They have opened their arms to me, they've accepted me for who I am, and they look past my mistakes and they see me for someone who is trying to be better. They laugh with me, they cry with me, they pray for me, they're excited about when I'm doing well, they ask about me when I'm doing bad. Because for so long I felt like I was going through life alone. I felt like I didn't have anybody in my corner, and now I don't have to think that way anymore. It brings so much peace in my mind and my soul knowing that like I'm not alone. Throughout all of my time at Rockside, I was brought up in a community that loved when I didn't want to love myself, that cared for me when I really didn't care about what was going on in my life, and wanted me to succeed and thrive when all I wanted to do was just sit on a couch and willow away. I guess you could say I had an ego, And that got taken down really quickly, and I was brought into this idea of servant leadership and what that really looks like, and that's the embodiment of Christ. It breaks down those walls of pride and ego and allows you to coexist and be one with the unit. Rockside Ranch to me is restoration. Restoration in so many different aspects. I feel so different than the person that I was when I showed up into this valley 8-9 months ago. I'm sober, my mind is clear, the thoughts that I have, the anxious thoughts are gone. I'm healthy. Restoration is the big thing that I've taken away from Rockside.